Welcome back to Anything You Want, the only destination where we don't just report the news, we immerse you in the soulful details of the stories that define our generation of stardom. We live in an era saturated with curated perfection, where every celebrity milestone feels prepackaged for maximum engagement. Yet, just when cynicism begins to feel like the only rational response to televised romances, a story emerges that is so profoundly human, so unexpectedly vulnerable, that it reminds us why we fall in love with love in the first place. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on an event that has not only stunned the Turkish entertainment industry but has redefined the very architecture of a modern proposal. Forget the predictable scripts and the staged paparazzi moments. What transpired between Çağatay Ulusoy and Hazal on the open water is a testament to the power of rewriting the narrative. Before we set sail into this breathtaking chronicle, we ask you to anchor yourself with our community here at Anything You Want. If you crave this level of depth and dedication to storytelling, please smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. For those who wish to voyage deeper with us and support the creation of these extensive features, we invite you to click the join button to become an exclusive member of our family. Your likes and comments are the wind in our sails, so let us know your thoughts as we unfold this incredible journey. The genesis of this now legendary evening began with an intention rooted in simplicity and escape. For his birthday, Çağatay Ulusoy, a man whose life is often lived under the relentless glare of the public eye, sought a sanctuary where the hum of the city and the intrusive flash of cameras could not reach him. He masterminded a quiet getaway, a deliberate retreat onto the open sea, envisioning nothing more than peace, the rhythmic lull of the waves, and the company of the woman he loves. Picture the scene as he intended it. A sleek yacht cutting through cerulean waters, drifting far beyond the coastline until the world felt distant and manageable. As the afternoon waned, the atmosphere on board transformed into something almost ethereal. The sky, in its nightly performance, slipped from burnished gold into deep bruises of amethyst and indigo as the sun tucked itself beneath the horizon line. It was the kind of evening designed to soften the edges of even the most guarded souls, a setting where time seemed to call a truce with the chaotic demands of their careers. Çağatay believed he was simply celebrating another year of life in the quietest way possible, completely unaware that the tranquility he had so carefully arranged was merely the stage for a moment that would alter the course of his existence. In this suspended silence, with only the wind teasing the candle flames and music playing barely louder than the hush of the water against the hull, Hazal made a choice that shattered convention. The traditional script, the one where the man kneels while the music swells, was discarded in favor of something far more authentic. She stood before him, her expression a mesmerizing blend of steady resolve and luminous affection. From her pocket, she produced not a grand, theatrical prop, but a small, understated velvet box. She walked toward him with the quiet confidence of someone who had spent a lifetime arriving at this precise realization. Çağatay, caught in the unassuming rhythm of a birthday celebration, naturally assumed the box contained a token of affection, perhaps a vintage watch, a set of engraved cufflinks, something tasteful to mark the occasion. He was wholly unprepared for the truth that lay within that velvet enclosure. In a move that was disarmingly brave and elegantly executed, Hazal lowered herself onto one knee right there on the deck. She looked up at him with a gaze that stripped away all pretense, a look that held no room for doubt or performance. She wasn't chasing a headline or creating content, she was claiming a defining moment in their shared history. When she spoke, her voice was soft, yet it carried the unbreakable weight of sincerity. She did not rely on poetic monologues or borrowed metaphors. Her proposal was an invitation, pure and direct. She asked him to choose her, not merely for a season of life or for the transient glow of red carpet events, but for the entire, unpredictable long voyage ahead. It was a plea that has since become legendary among the tight-lipped inner circle who heard the details. She asked if he would move through life with her, side by side, regardless of what waters they encountered. This was profoundly different from the standard proposals we are accustomed to seeing. It was an invitation to partnership rather than possession, a call to team up for every calm morning and every stormy midnight they had yet to face. She was offering to be his constant in a world of variables. To share every tide and sunrise, to navigate the pressures of every demanding set and the quiet emptiness of every rap, to exist together in the noise and in the silence. It was love stripped down to its absolute essence, disarming in its honesty because it refused to hide behind theatrical flourishes. For a heartbeat that felt like an eternity, Çağatay couldn't move. In the aftermath, when he allowed himself to share fragments of the memory, he confessed that his mind went completely blank. He was overtaken by a tidal wave of emotion so powerful it left him feeling weightless against the sturdy deck. This was not a pause born of confusion or hesitation, it was the stunned hush of a man who had just discovered a depth of joy he hadn't dared to define until it was offered to him. He felt his pulse race upward into his throat, a visceral physical reaction to the magnitude of her question. And yes, in a display of beautiful, unarmored vulnerability, tears arrived before words could find their way to his lips. It felt to him as if the sea itself had drawn a protective circle around them, keeping the rest of the world at bay while they navigated this sacred intersection. When he finally found his voice, there was no need for a grand reciprocal speech. He offered just an honest, trembling yes, a single word that communicated more than any rehearsed dialogue ever could. Before we delve into the intimate aftermath of this incredible night, we want to hear from the Anything You Want community. Hazal's decision to propose is a powerful statement in today's world. How do you feel about this reversal of traditional roles? Do you find it braver than the standard narrative? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you want deeper analysis and exclusive content related to your favorite stars, consider hitting the join button to support the channel directly. Your contributions help us keep these detailed stories coming. Insiders who have been privy to the details of that night cannot stop replaying the tender nuances of the atmosphere. The candles scattered around the deck weren't excessive displays of luxury. They were like a constellation of small, warm flames, reflecting in their eyes like captured starlight. The music remained intimate, framing the moment gently rather than trying to command it. The entire tableau was scene written for the kind of romance film that wins hearts through authenticity rather than effort. After his trembling acceptance, Hazal rose from her knee, and their subsequent embrace was long and unguarded. The kind of clinch that makes the outside world stop searching for proof and simply believe in the connection they are witnessing. Later, they retreated from the cool night air, tucking themselves away in the privacy of their cabin. They celebrated not with spectacle, but with the profound certainty that comes from knowing your future is secured with the right person. It was a celebration of two souls who had decided to anchor themselves to one another. By the time morning broke and they prepared to return to shore, they attempted to keep this new glow to themselves, slipping back into the city with the kind of quiet, vibrating happiness that refuses to be bottled up for long. But happiness of this magnitude has a way of radiating, and in the world of celebrity, cameras are always waiting to catch the light. Photos surfaced within hours of their return to the dock. The two of them stepping off the boat, wearing smiles they couldn't quite shut down, exchanging the kind of knowing glances that communicate volumes without a word being spoken. Neither offered comments to the small cluster of microphones that appeared. They didn't have to. Sharp-eyed observers immediately noticed the detail that told the entire story without a single press release. Sitting proudly on Çağatay's hand was a ring. In a relentless 24-hour media cycle that thrives on baseless speculation and rumor, this was confirmation delivered with immense grace. It was a silent statement that their commitment was real, tangible, and now woven into their everyday lives. Social media did the rest, reacting with a mixture of thunderous applause and tender admiration. Fans flooded timelines with congratulations, calling it the fairy tale this century deserves, one that honors individual choice over societal choreography. People lauded Hazal, praising the calm authority inherent in her gesture and the seamless way she balanced immense courage with undeniable warmth. Yet, even as the trendlines soared and the world demanded details of a wedding, the couple gently but firmly drew a boundary. Through a friend who relayed their thoughts to the press, they made it clear they were not sprinting toward headlines or a televised ceremony. They wanted to savor this sweetness privately for a while, to live inside the promise before sharing it with the world. They stated clearly that they are not rushing. Their foundation is steady, their rhythm is uniquely their own, and before they even begin to discuss wedding dates or venues, they want to honor their current professional commitments, their families, and the small, grounding rituals that keep their love sustainable. There is something undeniably poetic, almost fated, about the location where this transpired. Both Hazal and Çağatay have mentioned in quiet interviews over the years that water steadies them, that the vastness of the sea feels like home when life on land gets too crowded and noisy. It was, of course, no coincidence that the ocean was the backdrop for their ultimate commitment. It was a deliberate return to a shared refuge. Those who know them best insist this wasn't an impulsive act of improvisation on Hazal's part. It was a conclusion many months in the making, the crest of a massive emotional wave that had been swelling in private as they grew, both separately as artists and together as partners. One person close to the couple described it beautifully: it wasn't a leap into the unknown, it was a landing. Naturally, fans are already playing wedding strategist, theorizing a ceremony that mirrors the proposal. Sea-kissed, intimate, perhaps on a private beach at dusk or aboard another vessel. They envision lines simple but elegant, nothing showy, nothing that chases applause over authenticity. This is, after all, the kind of love that doesn't need 1,000 studio lights to shine. It brightens the room on its own merit. What makes this story resonate so deeply, beyond the initial spectacle of the role reversal, is how profoundly human it is. Hazal's courage doesn't shout. It speaks with quiet authority. She decided she wouldn't wait for a scene to be written for her by society, she would write it herself. She reportedly told her inner circle she wanted to own the instant, to be the agent who called their future into being, not because she needed power, but because the love felt too real to postpone behind antiquated expectations. And in the most beautiful symmetry, Çağatay met that bravery with total openness. He didn't hide behind masculinity or irony. He allowed himself to be moved to tears. That reaction is not weakness, it is strength in its most honest, unarmored form. Together, they've created the romantic moment of the year, one that matters because it forces us to ask what love looks like when we strip away the scripts we didn't write. And if you ask us here at Anything You Want, it looks exactly like this: two people choosing each other, standing side by side as equals, facing the horizon together. Thank you for joining us for this incredible story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for more deep dives into the lives of the stars you love.